Then I want to actually dana the sorry Bante. Yeah, I want dana robes. So this year there was I think Miao Miao said you got to write out the name. I said
Hmm.
"No, I want to I want to dedicate to all beings,
Hmm.
right? So you can do that, right? Correct, Bante?
Yeah, can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not necessarily you must put all your ancestors' name, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
Thank you,
nothing,
Bante.
we can start. It's 8:30. We let Terence kick off.
Good Skill and a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to MSBS Weekly Guided Meditation by Phra Goh. Today is the 31st of March, 2026. This week, we are starting on the new subject called Unknowable Beginning from Samyutta Nikaya 15. Bhante will be leading the homage to Buddha and taking a 5% for this. Now, let us compose our mind, put our palms together, and welcome Bhante. Over to you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you, Terence. So we start off with bowing to the Buddha 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Then the opening chant, homage. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. 3 refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. And the 5 precepts. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Musāvāda veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Surameraya majjapamadaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, good evening to everyone. So tonight we are starting this new topic, like mentioned, because previous session nobody suggests any topic, so I'll just come on my own. So I decided to choose a theme that is kind of related to this Qingming festival, or kind of related to the Qingming festival. So I selected some suttas from the Samyutta Nikaya 15, related about past lives and many beginnings and eons and all those. So we have a better understanding about, or the Buddhist understanding about ancestry, on blood relations and ancestry, how beings are interdependent, Alright, so we can kick off with the first slide. Okay, so we start off with this 15.10. So they mention about a single individual. So I'll just read. At one time, the Buddha was staying near Rajagaha on the Vulture's Peak mountain. There the Buddha addressed the mendicants. So mendicants means the monks. Venerable Sir, they replied. The Buddha said this: Mendicants, this transmigration has no known beginning. So the rebirth here, there's no known beginning. One individual roaming and transmigrating for an eon would amass a heap of bones the size of this Mount Vepula if they were gathered together and not lost. So the Buddha is giving an analogy. If a person were to repeat the cycle of this rebirth, after they pass on, if their remains are collected, it's not cremated, it's not decomposed, all the bones gathered together, it will be larger than this mountain, Mount Vepula. Okay, next. Why is that? This transmigration has no known beginning. That is quite enough for you to become disillusioned, dispassionate, and freed regarding all conditions. So in order to pile our bones, or many lifetimes of bones, to be as high as a mountain, there's many lifetimes. That is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, if the bones of a single individual for a single eon were gathered up, they'd make a pile the size of a mountain. So said the great seer. So also the Buddha mentioned, if a person were to contemplate this birth and death cycle, it will lead to dispassion, lead to disillusion. So in our meditation routine, we are doing like a small scale or the micro level, one part of the body growing and falling, many cycles. So if you do it correctly, it will lead to detachment. Then you'll be, the mind will be free from clinging to these aggregates, at least for that time when you're mindful of impermanence. So there are practices. If let's say a person sort of recall their past lives or think of their past lives in a correct manner, then it will lead to detachment. So this one requires some wisdom. So same thing, when we think of the parts of the body growing and falling, if the conditions are not right, if a person don't have enough of this right understanding, then they think of the body growing, the parts of the body growing, then they get to worry, next time medical fees, who is going to bring me to the, or who's going to take care of me when I'm getting older, that kind of thing. So instead of detachment, you get more worried. You have more of these troubles and worries. So the same thing, if a person were to recollect their past lives, if they do not have the right frame of mind, they will end up like watching drama shows. How many of you watch drama shows can get detachment? The more you watch drama shows, most people will get more interested in the show. They want to watch the first season, finish the first season, and they carry on the second season, and they want to watch more and more, right? You get hooked to the show. So the same thing, if you are caught up in the story of your sort of past life, you are very entertained by the drama. You want to know, what happened to my past life husband or wife, or my past life girlfriend or boyfriend, what happened to them? So you kaypo and you kind of watch again and again. So this not easy. You need the right frame of mind. Okay, next. And this is declared to be as huge as a Mount Vepula, higher than the Vulture's Peak in the Magadan mountain range. But then, with right understanding, one sees the noble truths. So the key word here, you need to have right understanding. So what are the Four Noble Truths? suffering, suffering's origin, suffering's transcendence, and the Noble Eightfold Path, Noble Eightfold Path that leads to the stilling of suffering. So this is Ajahn Sujato's translation. After roaming on 7 times at most, the individual makes an end of suffering with the end of all fetters. So if a person, so they mention here 7 times at most, that means a person at least reach stream entry, Sotapanna. Yeah, so if a person need to have some right understanding until they reach this stream entry, they have no more doubt in the Four Noble Truths mentioned in the second paragraph, then they will have maximum 7 more lifetime. Instead of, if a person don't have this right view or right understanding, then they'll carry on many lives. Then you'll be building more mountains. Your bones will pile up with more mountains. So hopefully within 7 lifetime, we'll stop this cycle of birth and death. Right, so this is the next slide. Yeah, so that's the first sutta to show you that for one person, we can actually go on for very long. And this particular sutta, or this set of suttas from Samyutta Nikaya 15.14 to 15.19 will kind of tell you, throughout this whole journey, the people we come across, all of us are in a way related. So just now someone mentioned, instead of dedicating marriage to one person, we can dedicate to all beings, because technically or theoretically, all beings have been related before. Somewhere, even though we are not related now, we are not blood related now, in our past life, somehow, through these many eons, many lifetimes of birth, there should be a possibility we have met across one another in a form of relation, blood relation. So this is the sutta. Okay, at Savatthi, mendicants, this transmigration has no known beginning. It's not easy to find a sentient being who in all this long time has not previously been your mother. So this is 15.14. So the next sutta, if you replace the underlined word with the last paragraph, and the father will be the next sutta, then brother will be the next sutta, sister is the next sutta, son is the next sutta, then daughter is the next sutta. So all of us have been in a way kind of related through these many rebirths. By some probability, we could have been related before. Why is that? This transmigration has no known beginning. This is quite enough for you to become disillusioned, dispassionate, and free regarding all conditions. Okay, so if a person truly believes in this, then there's at least the people who believe in this won't fight over different nationality, won't fight over different race, won't fight over different religion, because all of us in our past life could have been any of those. Yeah, so this one will help you create this illusion and this passion. Okay, next. All right, then this one also similar to the first sutta. Instead of bones, then we're talking about tears. So not too gross. So tears would be probably more relatable. At Savatthi, mendicants, this transmigration has no known beginning. No first point is found of sentient beings roaming and transmigrating, shrouded by ignorance and fettered by craving. What do you think? Which is more, the flow of tears you've shed while roaming and transmigrating for such a very long time, weeping and wailing from being coupled with the unloved and separated from the loved? Okay, so these tears is from the time when you're being upset, or the water in the 4 oceans. So this, okay, so you can treat these 4 oceans as the oceans of the earth, but I think there's the definition of these 4 oceans is the 4 heavenly kings, the different world, their ocean. So it's bigger than the earth's ocean. Yeah, so all the tears that we cry out, if let's say it didn't evaporate and you were to store them, which would be more? Yeah, the tears through all your past lives, including this one, or the 4 oceans, the water of the 4 oceans, which is more? Yeah, so the monks, they answer, as we understand the Buddha's teaching, the flow of tears we've shed while roaming and transmigrating is more than the water in the 4 oceans. So this is how long we are in samsara. So next time you want to celebrate birthday, all of us are very old already. We've been like around in samsara for so many eons, so all of us are very old. Okay, next. Okay, good mendicants. It's good that you understand my teaching like this. The flow of tears you've shed while roaming and transmigrating is indeed more than the water in the 4 oceans. So the Buddha acknowledged the answer. For a long time you've undergone the death of a mother, and death of a father, death of a brother, death of a sister, death of a son, death of a daughter, loss of relatives, loss of wealth, or loss through illness. From being coupled with the unloved and separated from the loved, the flow of tears you've shed while roaming and transmigrating is indeed more than the water in the 4 oceans. Yeah, so basically, crying over any sad incident, all the tears you've gathered together, it will be more than the 4 oceans. So the oceans of earth already very large already. So don't talk about these supernatural or metaphysical 4 oceans. Okay, why is that? This transmigration has no known beginning. So the Buddha mentioned there's no known beginning. So in the suttas, the Buddha is said to have recalled 90 over eons. 90 over eons. So 1 eon is actually 1 universe cycle. So the Buddha can recall 90 over eons of his past lives. I think it stopped, there's no point because there's no known beginning. This is quite enough for you to become disillusioned, dispassionate, and freed regarding all conditions. Yeah, so if a person with right understanding, they know that there's no known beginning, we keep on separating from loved one or getting upset all the time, life after life, incident over incident, then this reflection, separation from the loved ones, we also use it in our 3rd sublime state, this appreciative joy. So after we rejoice with all beings, their gain, then the inside portion is one day all beings will lose everything. Yeah, one day we will lose what is dear and near to us. So we will reflect on that. So when the conditions are right, it will lead to dispassion. It will lead to dispassion. But if the conditions are not right, you think about, we'll be separated from our loved one, then you get upset, and you cry. Yeah, so you need the right conditions, right frame of mind, certain right understanding. Yeah, so any practice, you can either do it the right way or you end up the wrong way. Okay, next. Okay, so this is a bit similar but different metaphor or different analogy. At Savatthi, mendicants, this transmigration has no known beginning. No first point is found of sentient beings roaming and transmigrating, shrouded by ignorance and fettered by craving. What do you think? Which is more? The mother's milk you've drunk while roaming and transmigrating for such a very long time, or the water in the 4 oceans? So the same thing. So this mother's milk is only when you drink when you are infant, when we are infant. So as we grow older, then it's not like the tears, we won't drink this mother's milk anymore. So at this limited time, as a baby, which is more, the milk we've drunk as a baby, or the four oceans, the water in the four oceans, which is more voluminous? So I think you all should have guessed the answer. Next. As we understand the Buddha's teaching, the mother's milk we've drunk while roaming and transmigrating is more than the water in the four oceans. Yeah, so hopefully you all get it correct. Okay, good mendicants. It's good that you understand my teaching like this. The mother's milk you've drunk while roaming and transmigrating for such a very long time is more than the water in the four oceans. So you might find this a bit exaggerating, but I don't know, maybe those who can see the past lives might agree with this. Why is that? This transmigration has no known beginning. This is quite enough for you to become disillusioned, dispassionate, and freed regarding all conditions. Yeah, so if a person keep on reflecting like this, we go through birth again, birth and death, rising and passing, birth and death, then it will lead to this passion. Okay, next. Okay, is it too much? You got any questions at the moment? If not, I carry on. Okay, this next sutta. Near Rajagaha, in the bamboo grove, then 30 mendicants from Pava went to the Buddha. All of them lived in the wilderness, ate only alms food, wore rag robes, and owned just 3 robes. Yet they all still had fetters. They bowed to the Buddha and sat down to one side. Okay, then it occurred to the Buddha, these 30 mendicants from Pava live in the wilderness, eat only alms food, wear rag robes, and own just 3 robes. Yet they all still have fetters. Yeah, so this is like surprise. Normally, people when they want to try to judge people's spiritual practice, they look at the external form. So we call these the Dhutanga practitioners, people who practice this Buddhist asceticism. So the monks take up these, I think there are 13 Dhutanga practices, 13 ascetic practices. So they mention these monks, they observe some of them. For example, live in the wilderness. So living in the wilderness, there are a few of the Dhutanga practices. You can stay under the tree, stay in a cave, stay in an open space, stay in that kind of stuff. So living in the wilderness alone, there are a few of those Dhutanga practices. Eating only alms food. That means they reject house invitation. So if let's say a lay devotee, I say, okay, go to somebody's house or somebody's shop or go to a restaurant to makan, they reject. For those who take up this vow, eating only in the only alms food. So that's one of the vows. And eating only inside the alms bowl, that's another vow. So there are quite a number of vows regarding the eating part. So these are we call this optional ascetic vow. They are not part of the Vinaya, but optional. Okay, then the next few of the vows is regarding the clothing. Wore rag robes. So these monks, they don't accept newly sewn robes from the lay devotee. Rag robes means they have to pick up the random pieces of cloth from the rubbish, from dead bodies, from unwanted cloth. Then they sew them together, sew them together, and dye it brown or whatever color they wish. Then they wear it. So they call this rag robes. So I think one of the common examples is the recent peace walk in America. I think one of the monks practiced this wearing of rag robe. So they, even though the robe is torn, and they keep sewing and sewing, patching and patching over and over again. So this wearing of rag robes. And the next of the practice is just owning 3 robes. Owning 3 robes, which is for example, one of the upper robe we are wearing. Then the lower robe is the sarong, that's the second one. Then the third one is the winter wear, basically like we call it outer robe. It's like the upper robe but double layer. So just 3 robes, no excess. So that's why washing the robes can be a bit troublesome. You have to wait for the right weather. When it's sunny, and then when there's nothing else, nothing to do, no appointment, no invitation, no nothing, and then you can wash the robes and sun it. So this one requires a lot of planning, but very minimalistic. Very minimalistic. Imagine in your cabinet or drawer, only one set of clothes. Your shirt, then your pants. That's it. Then you have to wait for the only set of clothes is what you're wearing. There's nothing in your drawer. So that's the only set of clothes you have. And washing will be a bit troublesome. You have to wait for the right time, then you kind of wash it. Right? So imagine they only have one set of these 3 robes. So they have to, we call it very minimalist kind of lifestyle. Yet they still all had fetters. That means they still are not liberated. They still have the fetters. So the 10 fetters, the first one is this doubt in the Four Noble Truths. Then the second fetter would be clinging to unwholesome rites and rituals. So that's the second one. Then the third one, clinging to personality view. So these 3 fetters are, if a person can clear them, then they become a stream enterer. So when the Buddha mentioned these people still had fetters, there's a whole spectrum. They could be from before stream entry to all the way to non-returner. And the next 2 fetters would be greed and anger. So if a person were to reduce them significantly, then a person will become one's returner, Sakadagami. So that's the second sainthood. But if a person were to completely remove greed and anger or overcome greed and anger, then they will become a non-returner, or this Anagami. And the last 5 fetters would be the 6th one, clinging to the form spheres, clinging to the form concentration. Then the 7 would be clinging to formless concentrations. And the number 8 would be restlessness. So a lot of people have, let's say, meditate, the mind run here, run there. So that's restlessness. So some people will come up to me and tell me, hey Bhante, my mind like monkey, run here, run there, cannot meditate. I'm not suitable for meditation, which is not true. So if a person have no restlessness, means you are enlightened. You are Arahant. So which is very normal for us to have restlessness. So if you do not have restlessness, means congratulations, you don't have to attend this class. So it shows that we still have room for improvement. All these fetters are kind of like the signposts. Okay, so that's number 8, restlessness. Number 9 fetter would be conceit or ego. Why do we feel there's a I? I am, this conceit. And the number 10, the 10th fetter would be ignorance. So if a person clear ignorance, means they fully understand the Four Noble Truths. So earlier on, a stream enterer, we have no more doubt of the Four Noble Truths because they partially experience the Four Noble Truths, especially the reduction of craving to have certain spiritual or religious kind of happiness. But the Arahant will fully overcome craving. So they have the full package of the Four Noble Truths. So that's the difference. So the Arahant will overcome ignorance. So total there are these 10 fetters. So the Buddha mentioned these 30 mendicants from Pava, although they practice all these austere practices, they still have fetters. Why don't I teach them the Dhamma in such a way that their minds are freed from defilements by not grasping while sitting in this very seat? Okay, so I'll share until this point for today. It's 9 o'clock. I don't want to share too much, if not you'll overload. So we'll leave the rest to the next lesson. So I open the floor to Q&A. Any questions? Yeah, happy you have something?
Again, just now you said about the pita, the 10 pita.
Yep.
But I couldn't really grasp all of it. Can you help me to let me know one more time again?
Okay, never mind. You just Google 10 fetters. They will list out all 10.
Yeah.
10 fetters in Buddhism.
Okay.
Huh?
So what about the clinging to personality view? Is it the Satipatthana?
Yes, correct. One of the first 3 fetters, yeah? Clinging to personality view.
So there's another 2 for the Satipatthana.
Yeah, so total there's 3. So clinging to personality view, that's 1. Then number 2 would be clinging to unwholesome rites and rituals.
Unwholesome rites and rituals.
Yeah, then the third one is doubt to the Four Noble Truths.
Or to the Four Noble Truths.
So which comes to today's theme also, because we are nearing Qingming, or this the Qingming period. So there might be certain rituals, certain practices, and some people will interpret this not clinging to rites and ritual and say, don't do Qingming at all, no, don't go Qingming at all. So some people might interpret this way. So personally, my perspective would be any kind of ritual, as long as it increases your greed and anger, then that would be considered an unwholesome ritual. But if that ritual can reduce your greed and anger and can promote wholesome qualities, then that will be a wholesome ritual. So a lot depends on the understanding or the intention of the individual. So don't talk about Qingming, let's talk about even in the Buddhist temple. 2 persons bow down to the Buddha. First person bow down because they respect the triple gem, respect the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Then the second person bow down because they want to ask for 4D numbers. Yeah, so even though they are doing the same ritual, but they have different understanding. So which one would you think is more wholesome?
First one.
Yeah, the first one, correct. Yeah, so same thing, a person may, let's say, perform some Qingming kind of ritual. They follow the family, or rather it's like a family thing. All the relatives come and do the Qingming, tomb sweeping. Or in Singapore, maybe no more tomb, the columbarium sweeping. So, no, it depends on the understanding or intention of the individual. If they go there because out of like respect for the ancestors, out of gratitude, or out of filial piety, then I think that's a wholesome quality. But if, let's say, a person's intention is to go there, again, you want to offer the food and hopefully pray and ask for, 4D numbers, then that would be a very different intention altogether. Yeah, so it depends a lot on the intention of the individual. Yeah, so that's my take on these rites and ritual. Okay, anyone else have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All good? No questions?
So I have another question again.
All right.
So like the one you said, the Sangha, like they live in the cave, the stuff. Is it only for monks? Like during the Buddhist time, is there any nun doing that?
Yeah, mostly practiced by the monks, because some of the Dhutanga practices require the robes. So the layperson don't have the monastic robes, so I don't think it's suitable for the layperson to practice, but probably is practiced by maybe the other religious practitioners, other religious monks.
What about the nuns during the Buddhist time? Is there any?
Yeah. They also do these Dhutanga practices. Yes, because it's open to all the monastics.
Oh, for the
So
nuns
there,
too, for the women.
yeah, monks and nuns. Yes. So probably there would be some nun who is foremost in asceticism also.
But are they not afraid of the dangers in the wilderness?
That depends on the individual person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there any like the story of about the nun who's doing that?
Probably, yeah. So in the theory Gatha, there is, yeah.
Yes. But it's very like rare, Ajahn.
Maybe rarely emphasized because if the monks are the one teaching, they won't dig up the theory Gatha so much. Yeah.
I see. Right. Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, no problem. Okay, anyone else has any questions? Okay, if there's no questions, then we go for a 5-minute break. Then we come back for this guided meditation. Okay, let's see who else has returned. Still can chit chat while the rest come back from the break. Yes.
I want to ask, like the one you said, because like the Gautama before become Buddha, he has always been accompanied by the same wife in many islands.
Yes, there's this in the Theri Gathas, yes.
So what kind of parami that he always accompanied with same wife?
Same wife.
Same same bonding.
Yeah, the same sort of like the same or similar person. Yeah. What paramis? Yeah, probably there might be certain virtues. They have certain spiritual goals they cultivate together. That's why they have like the same understanding. So in the traditional accounts, the wife will be more accepting of the husband to go and renounce. Very supportive, in a way, supportive of the husband renouncing. Yeah.
Are they making like some kind of hope in the past before, so that they can return to meet again in another lifetime, something like that?
Vow, I'm not so sure, but in the suttas, the Buddha mentioned if the couple, they have similar spiritual values, same level of the sila, the precepts or morality about the same level, the dana they do is about the same, their wisdom or their discernment is about the same, then they will meet lifetime after lifetime over and over again.
Oh, so it's not about the foe, but it's more about similar attainment on their spiritual merit.
Yeah, the alignment of the spiritual practice should be about the same. Cannot be one angel and one demon, then a bit hard. Yeah.
Oh, and what about like, because I saw in some other other religion, like in the Vedic Sutta, like they mention about the karmic bond, dharmanic bond, and the lastly is liberation. So like they said, the karmic bond is mostly people that they entangle together is for their lesson to learn, and when they break up and then they meet another, they already learned the lesson, they will make the dharmanic bond, which is dharmanic bonds, which is they think is more like kind of same level soulmate, this kind of thing. So is there any in the Buddhism, this kind of thing?
Yeah, so if we were to look at the micro level, so actually every moment, it can be a lesson, it can be a trap. So like we talked about the reflections earlier, it can lead to a trap, it can be like a drama show, we get enticed by it, or it can lead to disillusionment, detachment.
So is it a wrong things that like say, because I know every person has different goal on their spiritual achievement. So let's say they still want to practice in another lifetime, and then they still need a companion. They still can have a wish to meet the same level of soulmate that are supporting them.
Yeah. So if a person is, let's say, the conditions are not right to or not ready to be a monastic, then yeah, it's we need lay people, lay supporters. In fact, statistically, the monastics are like a very small percentage. Yeah, so majority of the Buddhists are lay persons. So there should be a certain kind of lifestyle moving forward.
So that's why is it for Sotapatti, when they attend, they also can get married.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Only Anagami have no more lust.
Anagami no more lust.
Mm.
Anagami is number
3,
the
yes.
one after
Non-returner.
non-returners. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, any other questions or suggestions of future topics? Yes, Lex.
I got one question. It's regarding the sutta, because Buddhist doctrine, mostly the three modes of existence, one of it is non-self, right? so there's no others. So you treat everyone like an external self. Is it more wholesome to see others as external self or to see others as like a past father, mother, siblings?
Okay. So again, any kind of reflection you can end up either doing correctly or doing wrongly. Yeah. So, so for the empathy part or for the detachment part, if a person can reflect, no, all beings were related before because of our going through the birth and death. So the emphasis is more on the birth and death. That will lead to detachment. But if the emphasis is more on, everybody is related before, if that is the emphasis, then a bit hard to let go. Then it's good to add in the reflection of this non-self. You are not always father all the time. When you meet different people, you cannot be a father. I mean, different people have different relation. No? When you meet your parents, then you're a child, you're not a father anymore. Yeah, something like that. So every moment, the personality was not the same. Okay, all right. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no questions, then we start with the guided meditation. So we're going to mute the mic to prevent the feedback. And we're going to find a comfortable sitting posture. Make sure your back is upright and the rest of the body relaxed. Okay, so the first part of the meditation we're doing is the impurities of the body meditation. So we're going to do a bit of visualization. We're going to visualize all the hairs from head to toe. So visualizing the body parts itself, there's no Dhamma value. Any hairstylist also can visualize the hairs. So what we are doing is we add in the right thought. Because every time you visualize the hair, if the hair look very nice, very beautiful, then probably we'll react with greed. If the hair looks very ugly, then we might react with anger. So these are the two extremes. So how to do it correctly, we first wish the hairs well and happy. Right thought. And once you finish the sentence, then you move on to a new patch of hair and you wish it well and happy. So the repetition, we call it right effort. So we try not to leave any gaps or let the mind autopilot. Or we try not to let the mind autopilot. New patch of hair, well and happy. New patch of hair, well and happy. So the more we keep wishing the hairs well and happy, it should reduce this craving of aversion little by little. And the mind should be able to calm down as the byproduct. And you see how far can the mind settle down. Okay, so eventually it should be able to calm down to a certain maximum point until it cannot settle any further. So we call this your neutral baseline state. So this one, no concentration yet, it's just a neutral state, but in a way that's the minimum criteria that's conducive for insight. And now we're switching to think of all these hairs going through birth, aging, sickness, death. So you think of the hairs growing and falling, many cycles. While we loop this image, we also mentally recite birth, aging, sickness, death, or we can recite rising and passing. So detachment shouldn't be a depressing thing. If we do it correctly, it should lead to some joy. Joy and energy, we call this virya. Okay, then we can ask ourselves, Are these hairs truly self? Can we tell the hairs not to go through birth and death? So again, this reflection of impermanence can go haywire to the extremes. One extreme would be you enjoy the story, you think of the hair growing and falling, what adventure, how you maintain the hair, all the drama show and the side storyline can be very entertaining. Another extreme would be so depressing. Okay, then the next part of the body, we're going to think of the nails. We're going to wish all the nails well and happy. And all these nails go through birth, aging, sickness, and death. So we think of the nails growing and falling many cycles. And as we keep looping this image, and we also mentally recite birth, aging, sickness, death, or we can use rising and passing. So as long as you mentally keep reciting, rising and passing, then that's part of right thought, right effort, which is the fourth noble truth, the path leading to the end of craving. And it should lead to the third noble truth, and the craving should be reduced. And the mind should get clearer and clearer. But once you stop once you let the mind autopilot or daydream, then it will revert back to the first two noble truths, clinging and suffering. You cling to something else, some other story. And we can check also this sense of self or selfishness. The intensity, is it increasing or decreasing? So there's a correlation between the sense of self and ego and craving. And we can ask ourselves, are these nails truly self? Can we tell the nails not to go through birth and death? And the next part of the body, we can think of the teeth, all the teeth inside the mouth. We wish them well and happy. And all these teeth are subject to birth, aging, sickness, and death. So we think of the teeth growing and falling many cycles. Even though the teeth fall off the most twice, we just keep on repeating. This is just a mental detachment exercise. And we mentally also recite birth, aging, sickness, death, or we can use rising and passing. And we can ask ourselves, are these teeth truly self? Can we tell the teeth not to go through birth and death? Okay, and the next part of the body, we're going to think of the skin. all the skin from head to toe. We are going to wish them well and happy. And all this skin go through birth, aging, sickness, death. So we think of them growing and falling, many cycles, as we mentally also recite birth, aging, sickness, death, or we can use rising and passing. And we can ask ourselves, are the skin truly self? Can we tell the skin not to go through birth and death? And the next phase of meditation, we are not going to visualize anymore. We are going to just feel the sensations throughout the body. So we call this the four elements meditation. So the four elements are the earth, fire, wind and water. Nothing magical about them. So earth represents any hard or soft sensations. Fire represents any hot and cold sensations. Wind represents any kind of movement, fast, slow movements. And water represents any moist or dry sensations. So the whole idea is not to control the elements, we let them appear naturally by themselves. And once they appear, we do the same thing, wish it well and happy. So if you don't do that, any sensation appear very shook, then you have greed lah, then you want some more. You chase after the nice feeling. Then any sensation appear very uncomfortable, very painful, unpleasant, then you start to resist and fight it. A lot of aversion. So first part is to smooth things out, wish it well and happy. Treat it like customer service. Any sensation appear, greet them, wish them well and happy. Okay, and the mind should be able to calm down again to this neutral state. So wishing oneself well and happy is still a very restricted form of loving kindness. So now we are going to remember this neutral state for your own comparison and reference. So now we are going to cultivate boundless loving kindness. We are going to wish may all beings in all directions well and happy, above, below, and all across. May all beings be well and happy. So don't have to push or exert, we let the mind extend naturally by itself. However far it wishes to expand doesn't matter. And in that widened area of attention, we are going to perceive all beings as the four elements. All beings are made of the five aggregates, so the form aggregate is the four elements. So whatever sensation appear, we are going to wish may all beings be well and happy. Don't have to visualize how they look like. Once we start to visualize, then the mind confirm have certain biasness and certain drama show. We call it perception. Based on certain memories, certain being look like this manner, that manner, then we have certain past experience with them, then all the drama shows come up with. So try not to visualize, we just stick to the four elements. Any sensation appear, then we wish may all beings be well and happy. So the sensation may appear inside the body, they may appear outside the body, doesn't matter. Anything arise, we wish may all beings be well and happy. And if you keep on wishing, may all beings be well and happy, with the right thought, right effort, everything, then it will trigger this right concentration. So usually loving kindness may lead one to the first level of concentration, indicated by some increment in joy and happiness and peace compared to the neutral state from earlier. And regardless of what you experience, keep on wishing, may all beings be well and happy. Treat everything else as a distraction or a bonus. And we add some insight, some wisdom. We're going to cultivate a more detached kind of loving kindness. So we're going to now reflect on impermanence. So any sensation appear, this time around we recite rising and passing. Okay, if the joy of detachment start to disappear, and this time around one may experience a stronger kind of neutral feeling, a bit more refreshed or alert, and we call this equanimity. And regardless of what you experience, keep on mentally reciting, rising and passing. Treat everything else as a distraction. Okay, and we switch to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So we're going to wish may all beings be free from suffering. So using the same non-discrimination approach, do not imagine any story. Once we think of the story, then we get trapped into the story. So stick to the four elements. Any sensation appear, they are subject to clinging and suffering. So any element appear, we're going to wish may all beings be free from suffering. So we kind of reflect at near to the source of the problem, the root cause. We don't go to the further end into the story making. Any sensation appear, then we wish may all beings be free from suffering. And if you do it correctly, you keep on wishing may all beings be free from suffering, then this compassion may lead one to the second level of concentration, also indicated by some joy and happiness. So the conventional compassion, very, very sad, very sorrowful, but the concentrative kind of compassion, a bit more joyful. And same thing, regardless of what you experience, keep on reciting, may all beings be free from suffering. And then we add the insight portion, the wisdom portion. We're going to reflect how to truly overcome suffering, which is to uncling from these aggregates, uncling from the five aggregates. So we're going to use impermanence to shake out this clinging. Any sensation appear, we just mentally recite, rising and passing. Okay, and if the joy of detachment start to disappear, instead of the strong neutral feeling from previously, this time round it should feel more blank. So the combination of compassion and insight may lead one to this perception of infinite space. So you feel very spacious or blank. And regardless of what you experience, keep on mentally reciting, rising and passing. Do not get attached or lost to this space. Okay, and before we conclude the session, same gentle reminder: in all activities, whether we are standing, sitting, walking or lying down, we can be mindful of impermanence or mindful of the sublime states, and with that we can gently open our eyes, formally end the session, informally generate right thought. Okay, any problems or questions from anyone? Okay, if there's no issues, then we move on to the dedication chant. Okay, dedicating merits. Akasata ca Bhumata Devanaga Mahitika Punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasanang etavata ca amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Dedication of merits to departed. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Aspiration. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu Yavani bana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And we pay respects to the Buddha by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Okay, any announcements from Terence? If not, then see you all next week, which is the first week of the month. There's no live streams, it's just on Zoom, Q&A only. Okay, then good night.
Thank you. Bye.